All right, it's talk time. Now, since the slump in the price of oil, Nigeria's major source of foreign exchange, the country has had to look for other sectors of the economy that lead to economic recovery.
And certainly one of such is the agricultural sector. Now, in the last 2 years, Nigeria took some giant steps in agriculture for food self-sufficiency. But as a result, the country experienced a bountiful harvest of grains in several areas and some parts of the country, although not enough to feed the teeming population that is now threatened by smuggling of farm produce through Nigeria's porous borders.
Now, Nigeria is Africa's largest producer of cereals and grains. In the last quarter of 2016, the presidency raised the alarm that food shortage could hit Nigeria this year because of the increase in the demand for the country's food at the global market. Now, food, especially cereals and grains, are being exported and smuggled to foreign countries through neighboring countries, either in exchange for foreign currencies with higher value.
Some agricultural produce smuggled out of the country are cocoa, groundnuts, shea, cashew, maize, among others. There are many illegal borders in Nigeria, and this creates a lucrative enterprise for smugglers.
Now, there are also many illegal borders in Idiroko, Ogun State, where these smugglers pass through. Now, farm produce moves through illegal borders in Ogbomosho, to Port of Cotonou in Benin Republic, and to other neighboring countries. Now, some of the major markets involved in this troubling exportation include the Dawanau market in Kano, Negatari in Jigawa, Bama in Borno, and Ilela in Sokoto, as well as 3 other main markets in Kebbi State.
You pronounce this name so well as if you lived there before. That's fine.
I'm a Nigerian.
Yeah, you're Nigerian. I really believe that. All right. Reports say many trucks filled with food leave Nigeria markets every week for other countries through these borders. Nigeria currently enjoys a free market situation based on supply and demand, but the government says exporters have the moral obligation to make their produce available to Nigerians.
Speaking about morals, well, they want to sell their produce. As far as they're concerned, they're making forex.
They have their own arguments.
What's the incentive to not export illegally?
When you talk about, when you call the name, when you mention morals, they have their own arguments against the government. If government is, you know,
absolutely.
I don't want to go there.
Now, Nigeria loses about $2.2 billion to smuggling of exportable share produce to the global market yearly. Now, the country also loses as much as 12 billion naira to cashew smugglers annually, as 30% of its produce are smuggled to neighboring countries. All right, we do have our guest who will be looking at this for us. He's an agriculturist, Shola Bumi, who is in Rwanda. Good morning and thanks for joining us. Also joining us from from the United States is Samuel Doughty, an Agric economist. Good morning to you both gentlemen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start this way. As desirable as it is for Nigeria to want its produce exported to other countries, when we have food, agricultural produce going across the borders illegally from Nigeria, now that's really something to worry about. Yes, my question is to both of you, of course, gentlemen, but let me start with Samuel.
Okay. Once again, thank you for having me. Yes, it's something to worry about. I think the first thing is to tighten our borders. That is the first problem that needs to be faced. That is a way to curb the smuggling and reduce the activities around the border. The first thing is to tackle the first thing is to tighten up our borders and make sure that, you know, it's not easy. It's not business as usual for smugglers to take agricultural produce outside the country.
All right, Shola, let me come to Shola Bumi here, joining us from Rwanda. Now, there has always been call for, let Nigeria produce enough to export, produce enough for export. And although smuggling is an illegal business, as far as the term is even concerned, but how much of a danger, economic danger, how much danger does it pose to the economy when food is smuggled out of the country?
Yeah, thank you once again. Good morning. I want us to cut this into like 2-3 bits. Now, exportation is a positive thing. It's the means of getting foreign exchange. Now, the problem is the term smuggling. Now, that's what I don't understand. If we have those things in large quantity, and these things are being grown by individual farmers, and they are selling their product out, I don't think there's any problem in that. When the government does not know what they're supposed to do, you can imagine you don't help me in building my house. Now you cannot tell me the kind of tenant I'm going to put there. When the government notices that there is a legal movement, what are the customs doing? You know, sometimes we celebrate things that are not good in this country. I don't know. You put me to guide a place and something is wrong there and you cannot hold me responsible. Now, when these grains are coming out, government supposed or ought to have mopped up all those grains and keep them. Now we are now saying they are smuggling it. They are doing what? They are selling their product. It's being exported. That means those people that need it are buying it off the farmers. You can imagine if we have these outgrowers and off-taker package we'll be talking about, government giving people grains and helping them to set up those farms. They sell the farm and the government buy it back from them. Now we have a lot of things in store. Now, when you now talk about smuggling, money is exchanging hand here. You know, the farmers are happy because they work and they are selling. So if it's going out, probably the farmers might not even know that it's going out of the border. Maybe they think one person is buying our produce and we are happy. We can now go back to farm again because we have money. I think we need to first of all put our house in order. Why smuggling? How possible is this process? Who are those people that are supposed to be in charge? Then how on earth do you know that they are smuggling those things? So we should start from there.
Now, Samuel,
Yes.
Shola just talked about governments not even knowing what to do, and he raised quite a number of, questions there. Does the Nigerian government even have a clear-cut procedure on how to export agric produce that Nigerians, especially farmers and agriculturists, are aware of, that they can actually take advantage of?
Yes, I believe the government knows because the Nigerian government, through the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, have been increasingly encouraging Nigerians to go into exportation of agricultural produce. However, they have not been supportive by, helping Nigerians farmers actually, with what they need, giving them funds, reducing interest rates, and creating facilities where they can process their good, and making making the export laws, reducing all the tariffs and all this heavy duty, cutting it out. So the government knows what to do, but they are not really doing it at this point in time. So that kind of encouraged the so-called smugglers to find another alternative route to make more forex.
All right, so Samuel, let me stay with you on this. Is it just about forex? Is the quest for forex or the hunger for forex, is it responsible for this rise in the trend of smuggling agricultural produce from Nigeria?
I would say yes. Yes. Since the fall of Naira, we've noticed a lot of, people have been, tending towards exporting things out of Nigeria. Clothing, not only agricultural produce, clothing and a lot of things in exchange for forex. So I would say yes. And we know that agriculture, contribute to 23% of our GDP. So it's a big business. So I would say yes.
All right, before I bring Shola Bumi in, let's take a very quick break and return and talk more about this. Smuggling of Nigeria's agri products out of the country. Right, you're welcome back. You're watching TVC Breakfast. It's talk time, and we're looking at the rising smuggling illegally of course, smuggling is illegal.
Smuggling is illegal.
Of Nigeria's agricultural produce across the borders. Shola Bumi is in Rwanda. He's an agriculturist discussing with us, and Samuel Doherty is an Agric economist. He's in the U.S. Speaking to us via Skype. Both gentlemen, thank you so much. Now, maybe one might want to ask what are the incentives, but of course you already established that fact that Forex is at the root of this. Now, we have heard that European countries, Europe, the EU generally, has rejected some 16 agricultural produce or food produce from Nigeria, and yet you have food produce smuggled across the border. So what are the destinations really? Who are the people buying this food produce that we, smuggle out? Samuel. I wonder if both gentlemen are still there. Samuel and Sholabumi, please confirm that you're still with us.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, Samuel, I asked the question. Europe has banned some 16 food items coming from Nigeria, whether you're talking about beans, dried fish, peanut chips, palm oil, and all of that. So where do these Nigerians who smuggle food out of the country, where are they? Who are the buyers? Sholabumi.
Yeah, they go to the neighboring Africa country.
Okay.
Nigeria is the grains, and grains is on the non-exportable commodity list. So you cannot move grains out through our sea border, but they are being smuggled out through the land border to the neighboring countries, not to Europe. No, not to Europe. But sometimes it goes as far as Brazil. It goes from another neighboring country, then well packaged and move from there to.
All right. We see that the trend of smuggling is on the rise. Samuel, let me come to you on this. But how can government take advantage of this now? Because if it is known that smuggling is actually taking place, what can government do to take advantage of this and not necessarily clamping down? Because it seems they may not be either interested or may not have the statistics of cutting down on the rate of smuggling. Okay, Shola, let me ask you that.
Okay, I think it's a bit unfortunate that we're having this issue of smuggling. We are not even feeding ourselves yet, and now the little food we have is being taken out somewhere, somehow. It's so unfortunate. I think what the government can do is, the first thing is, they shouldn't have been smuggling in the first place. Now, if they are smuggling this thing and the government does not know, I don't know how the government will be able to now make anything out of it, except if the government is accepting that they know these smugglers or they know how these things are being smuggled. That is when they can now say, okay, fine, you guys are doing this, okay, no problem. Let us now put something maybe in terms of tax or in terms of fine or something in which they can also generate money back into Nigeria. But if it's smuggling, which is illegal, I don't think the government.
All right, the line is not clear there.
But it's obvious that there's a market for Nigerian agricultural produce, and like Shola said, maybe it's something that the Nigerian government can actually take advantage of.
We've been talking about, you remember in the 80s they used to have commodity boards, where Shola was talking about that earlier on. You buy these things from buy all this produce from the farmers, and you keep, and then government becomes, so that the farmers can go back and then concentrate on farming again.
Because they have a guarantee that there's a market for
exactly.
Their
there's a ready-made market to take
their produce at the end of the day. So now there seems to be a very lax system, whether for legal or even illegal.
Yeah, I think Shola is back now. Yeah.
Okay, Shola, are you back?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so now talk to us. What is the role of the Agriculture Ministry? Of course, we do have a Ministry of Agriculture in this country that has actually warned that there is a likelihood of hunger going forward.
Especially in 2017?
Especially in 2017. Of course, we're now in 2017. So what do you think government should be doing really to tackle this challenge?
Yeah, I think the first thing is for government to, or the ministry or anybody in charge of this, to move in practically into these zones where these things are being produced and see how they can mop it up. You understand? they can mop those things up of the farmers so that the farmers can get fund to do more, mop it off, or probably start adding value or just store it and see how you can sell it. The major issue is going to come from the producing states because of the issue of security and everything. Borno and all this issue of Boko Haram. The demand for, because they've not been farming, for
quite a long time. There hasn't been farming, but thankfully some semblance of peace is returning to the
northeast. And besides that, there are several state governments in the north that are involved with irrigation program. You remember the Fadama there are more investments in Fadama from the reports we got, and some state governments are putting counterpart funding into it. There are other international organizations also helping out, so that there's a year-round farming where it's not just about the season where the rain is falling. So you have all of that. So with that, some experts say, well, there can be some semblance of some level of sufficiency in food production. And
so that we don't have a situation, that happened in 2016 where tomatoes became gold.
Exactly.
In Nigeria.
They say it was tomato Ebola.
Yes, and really, our tomatoes are about the best in the world. You have a tomato puree company that, unfortunately, I don't know what the situation is now, that may have folded up because of lack of forex.
Yes, several of them
and all of that.
They had to reduce. They had to cut down on cost, cut down on a lot of things because lay off staff,
so many people,
and then cut down the volume of production because they couldn't keep up with the economic challenges.
So, Mike, it's safe to say then that this artificial food scarcity that we find going on in Nigeria and the rise in the price of food, maybe as a result of this smuggling of foodstuff across the border.
There could be a link. I may not be Samuel Doherty, who is an Agric economist, but there could be a link because on daily basis, when you have okay, fine. I think we have both men back on right now. Shola Bumi from Rwanda joining us, and Samuel Doherty from the United States. Now, Samuel, let me come to you on this. What could be the implication if the smuggling of agricultural produce from Nigeria goes on unchecked?
Thank you. I think I lost you guys the last time. Yeah, well, the truth of the matter is that we're losing a lot of money by not, getting a hold of our border and putting a stop to the smuggling activities going on. I think don't quote me, but I think from the record I got the last time, we're losing up to like 2.2 billion annually to smuggling of agricultural produce outside Nigeria. What I think is that the government has to really take a deep look into, number one, I keep saying it, is to tighten our borders, and empower our customs so that they're not just focusing on what is coming into Nigeria, but also what is going outside Nigeria. And also the government must give incentive to local, farmers, fund them, give them low rates, and also, help with infrastructures, the storage bans and all that. I think by government doing their own part, I think this will reduce. It will not totally eradicate smuggling, but it will reduce it to the barest minimum.
Shola, do you think there is a need for some kind of cross-border cooperation that could help solve this problem, at least bring it down to a barest minimum?
For me, I'm a very blunt person. I don't see what is cross-border, what it is, when they cannot even keep what is there. What is there to keep the border? Things are coming in, things are going out, and we say we have custom. So what are they doing? There's nothing like that. If they want to keep the place, they just need to put somebody like discipline there. Just pick some scapegoat among them, send them to jail. The border will be closed and the whole place will work. Now, you are asking my colleagues the question, when they smuggle things out of your country, unfortunately, these are the things that we don't even have in large quantity. At the end of the day, we are going to have scarcity, and if you are not careful, there's going to be famine. Now, maize is so scarce that the Poultry Association of Nigeria is also trying to export maize back into this country. And some people are smuggling the same maize out of this. So what is going on? I don't believe in that. Just send people. Even journalists can do this thing. Investigative journalists. Send people there. Just do short videos and see how porous our border is. People there, arrest them, send them to jail, and you discover that it's so high and
all right,
okay.
we seem to have the signal challenge in there. But Samuel, if you can hear me, let me ask: in this phenomenon we find ourselves that we're talking about, is it more of the inability of government to handle them, or it is the lack of interest in handling the issue? We're talking about smuggling of agricultural produce.
I think it's a little bit of both, but mainly is the lack of interest. You know, of recent, I think there was an issue going on, which is something similar, but there's issue going on importation of car. The ban on cars from Cotonou to Nigeria, from Benin Republic to Nigeria. I think the government were very interested in that, and they enforced the law. You know, I think whatever the Nigerian government is interested in, definitely they're going to do something about it. It's not a rocket science to close our border and empower the farmers, empower the customs, and make sure things are not going out of the country. Like my friend said, the more things are going out. Unfortunately, we are still exporting stuff every day, and it's not favorable for the farmers and Nigerians in general. So the government is just lack of interest. I think if they focus on it, it's going to be taken care of. It's lack of interest.
All right, you could actually compare it to a situation where you have a family of maybe 7, mother, father, and maybe 4 or 5 children, and some members of the family are taking food out when the family doesn't have enough food to eat.
Enough food to eat.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, Samuel Doherty, thank you for joining us this morning on the discussion, and Shola Bumi, thank you also for joining us, gentlemen.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this is where we come to the end of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow, we'll be back again with other topics on the program. I am Mike Okwacha.
All right, you want to be sure to make a date or keep a date with us tomorrow. I am Ngozi Alibu, wishing you a beautiful day. It's wet out there, so be careful on the road.